Hello babes, so I'm jumping on to do a very quick impromptu summary of the Parasite Cleanse protocol in terms of the supplements that you use. I know I promised that I will do an official video and upload that to the portal, and I just haven't got around to doing that because I feel like I need to put makeup on and do my hair for that, and I just can't be fucked. So just a little step by step, because I know a lot of you are approaching, if not starting in the next couple of days, or if not started already. Here is a rundown of everything you need for your Parasite Cleanse. Now, the three key anti-parasitic products are these ones. Okay, so this is your Para Purge. There's a little bit of freedom to move in the way that you use this, meaning the dose can be variable. So the dose, which I think is written in your program guide, is 2 capsules twice a day. Always, always, always after food, purely because this has quite astringent, bitter herbs, which will stimulate a lot of liver activity, which in some people on an empty stomach could lead to nausea and that burping sort of reflux. So I always say take it after food. Now, the variation with the dose can be, you can take 1 capsule 3 times a day after each meal. I find personally that's harder, more likely to forget that meal dose, which is why I've changed it to 2 capsules twice a day. But that also makes it a stronger dose, which may be too much for some people to handle. And in that case, you could just do 1 capsule in the morning after brekkie and 2 capsules after dinner at night. So play around with it. You can't get it wrong. The worst thing that can happen is that you end up staying on this for a little bit longer at a lower dose. There's merit and benefit to that as well. So don't freak out about getting it wrong or right. If you're doing the 2 capsules twice a day and the die-off effect is out of control in terms of lots of bloating, lots of gas, potentially even fatigue, headaches, which is all inevitable, drop it down to even 1 capsule twice a day. It's your journey. Your body's different to everyone else's, and only you knows what you're feeling. So please use your own discernment and intuition there. We support this process with Biofilm Blast. Now, this works in 2 ways to, 1, try and eliminate some of that bloating that you're experiencing to prevent some of that die-off symptom. But 2, the enzymes in here will help to break down the biofilm, which our pesky parasites, fungi, pathogenic bacteria in your gut use to encapsulate themselves and protect themselves so that they can't be destroyed. So this is the anti-microbial, which is the killer, the destroyer that's going to kill the bad bugs. This supports that process, and it's really, really important that you do them all. So many people go and jump on random parasite cleansers or buy random products, but unless you treat the entire process properly and fully, you're doing half a job, and I guarantee you're not killing them completely, and then they're just going to come back and you're causing more harm than good. The harm that I'm talking about is the fact that when you are killing bad bacteria, parasites, fungi, candida, they naturally secrete toxins and inflammatory proteins, and then their own dead, dying debris. Okay, so you need to be making sure you're mopping that up as you're going and protecting your digestive tract from that. Using a binder, which of course is our Cleanse Me, to absorb and bind to all this toxic excretion that comes with killing off the bad bacteria. Now, this works in a couple of ways. 1, it's going to support you having daily bowel motions. 2, it's anti-inflammatory, and it's going to heal and soothe the digestive tract. 3, is going to bind to all that excrement that I just talked about. 4, it's a prebiotic, so it's starting to add a food source to fuel the good bacteria when it comes to doing the healthy probiotics, okay? Because this is a food source, it's also a food source for the bad bacteria. So some of you have already experienced feeling bloated from taking this. It's not that it's this guy's fault, but it's that because you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria, which is a sign that you 100% definitely have to do this whole protocol. Really, really important, okay? Our final piece of the parasite protocol in terms of these 3 processes, and this being the new addition to this round of boot camps, is the Candida Cleanser. Now, this is based on Saccharomyces boulardii. It is a form of bacteria that heals leaky gut, that also destroys candida, that also minimizes that die-off effect again. So it's a really important process to do these 3 products together. I know it can be easy to go, oh, I want to save money, I just want to buy that. Just don't do it, because you'll cause more harm than good. You won't get the job properly. I need to do this protocol every 2 years. So just commit to doing it properly. So the final piece of the puzzle is going to be our probiotics. Now, we recommend doing these rectally using your bulb syringe. Why? Because They say that it's a complete waste of time taking probiotics by mouth because your stomach acid will destroy these live living bacteria, as in kill them, before they colonize and make their way down through the digestive tract to the colon, where 90% of your beneficial bacteria lives. And then they're going to feed off this, plus other prebiotic foods from your diet. But this is why this whole process is so important. You only need to do this once a week, okay? Done regularly, ideally before bed or straight after a coffee enema. If you're doing that in the morning and you know that you're not going to have a secondary bowel movement through that day, you want to really retain this for a minimum 2 to 3 hours if possible. You're using the tiniest amount of water in a mug. Sprinkle this over. There's a video in the portal for this. That sprinkle it evenly over that small amount of water that you've got in a mug, because it's not meant to dissolve. So you don't want it to just clunk and then clog your bulb. Sprinkle it out evenly, give it a stir. Whack the tip of your bulb syringe in the water, draw it up in one continuous flow, and then inserting that rectally. The other piece of the puzzle that is paramount, and hopefully you've all got your head around at this point, is going to be your enema. It's not uncommon to get a little bit constipated when you are doing a parasite cleanse, because these antimicrobial herbs are very astringent, very bitter, very drying. And because we're doing a lot of work on the liver as a parasite cleanse, it can generate heat in the body and cause constipation. And that's the worst thing that you want for a parasite cleanse. We want to be removing those bowels every single day, ideally twice, but that's not necessarily going to happen every day, because you're moving that waste and that excrement and those dying bacteria out of your body daily. But this will create constipation in anyone who's got naturally already a bit of a sluggish liver, or anyone who's naturally got a bit of a sluggish bowel. It'll cause that. And this is why this, to soften and move your stool through your body, is important. But then your enemas, okay, really, really important. If you do not have a bowel motion that day, you must at least do a water flush the night before you go to bed. Never ever let the sun set on a day where you've not had a bowel motion. It's one of the worst things you can do for your health. You can experiment with the different types of enemas. You'll see in the bootcamp guide, we talk about the garlic enemas because they're potent anti-parasitic, antibacterial. You could do a coffee enema. You could rotate between a lemon juice, a plain water, just salt. It doesn't really matter, but make sure you're flushing your like I said, every day if you're not having a natural bowel motion. But if you're just doing the parasite protocol, aim to be doing a minimum of 2 a day if you're naturally having a bowel motion a day. Sorry, 2 a week, not 2 a day, 2 a week, okay? That's the absolute bare minimum that over the 4-week period that you're doing a parasite protocol, you want to be doing a minimum of 2 enemas a week of your choice. Ideally the garlic ones, but it's completely up to you. Experiment and play and have fun. Please, if there's anything unclear about this protocol, please drop your questions in the comments below, because I understand this is a new addition to bootcamp, and so there's a few people still trying to get their head around. Worth noting, if you're doing your colon cleanse as your 3-day juice fast, I recommend doing the 3-day juice fast, then starting all this on day 4, the day that you would reintroduce the food. Doesn't matter, you can do these alongside your 3-day juice fast if you want, but again, these on that sort of empty stomach can be a bit much for some people. I've done it that way and I was fine. I've also had people try and they'll like just burping up the taste of these like oregano all day long, and it wasn't pleasant. So I recommend starting it after the 3-day juice fast. But again, you can't really stuff it up. Check in with your body, check in with your digestive system, check in with what you can handle. If you are not doing the 3-day juice fast, you're just going for the slow and steady approach, you're just going to take this twice a day for the entire month of your parasite cleanse. Hopefully that has answered all your questions and made it a little bit clearer. Please hit me up with any questions, and I promise you I will do a proper video and upload it to the bootcamp portal soon. Mwah.